Your Kit Kat bite caused the Great Depression.
More fun article. So in Italy, the Miss Italy contest it banned anyone who was not assigned female at birth. So more than 100 trans men entered because they were assigned female at birth.
Oh, fair.
Now
that malicious compliance is my favorite kind.
Probably none of them will make it to the actual competition, but it still serves to illustrate the point that that's such a, like, I'm not going to read through the whole article, but basically the point of doing this is to be like, well, you said that you're allowed to enter because you're assigned female at birth, and you're not allowing me to compete because I look too masculine. Well, why is that the standard there instead of just like, is it about your genitals, or is it about, sorry, not even your genitals, is it about the genitals you had when you were a baby, or is it about just hitting these whatever beauty standards? I actually don't like beauty competitions anyway.
Yeah,
I think they're gross, but like, you know, as long as we have them, they should be open to anyone who wants to enter them.
I had I did an article today on a trans man named Emmett Brock, if you have heard about that situation yet.
Was that the 13-year-old kid?
No, it was a 23-year-old teacher who got detained for no reason by a police officer, violently assaulted, and then in the actual jail.
Oh, was that the one where he, like, the whole thing stemmed from like having a air freshener in his car?
Air freshener in the, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard a bit of you covering that.
The part of that got to me, I mean, the whole thing was terrible, but the part of it that gets to me in reference to this is there was a point where he came up obviously masculine, and the police officer goes, okay, so what is your gender? And he goes, well, I'm a guy. I'm a transgender guy. And the officer just looks at him and goes, so you're a girl? And upon explaining, no, and also I have a penis, he's then told to strip down to show the officers his genitals.
Which amounts to sexual assault at that point.
But everybody involved was cleared of wrongdoing.
They shouldn't have been.
In internal investigations, because internal investigations are bullshit.
There is no reason why a cop should ever need to investigate anyone's genitals.
No, there's not a single one at all. And I've said quite a few times, you forgot that the officer was female. Fennec the Rabbit, no, specifically the person that was ordered to inspect the genitals was female, but not everybody leading up to this point. There were more than a few times during that where I just went, I feel like self-defense against police officers should be legally allowed. And I'm starting to feel more and more strongly about that position, because
yeah,
I don't feel like there should be a person that's allowed to hit me and I'm not allowed to hit back.
Yeah.
Just feels kind of dumb.
I feel like that's asking for escalation, though, because the police officers always have guns.
Ah, yes, these people who are trained in de-escalation.
Yeah, and as soon as you hit them, they will use that as an excuse to escalate.
Yeah. Oh, no,
despite
I'm not
their
saying
supposed
it's a smart
training.
thing.
And yeah, no,
I'm not saying it's the smart thing to do. I'm saying that in an ideal world, you would be allowed to.
Anyway, this guy is now entering Miss Italy because he was assigned female at birth, and that's what it was. That's what they were trying to say, was that, like, if the thing about entering the contest is you have to have been born with a vagina.
That's they care more about children's vaginas than they do about adults' bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Very important, though, you know.
Okay, so short news items this time. Let's.
Now that we're even more thoroughly depressed.
Oh no! So the first tweet is a funny one. So do you remember a few weeks ago the one about the person saying, like, oh, you know, woke movies don't do well at the box office anymore, and
yes,
Sound and Fury was doing amazing. Well, I thought I'd bring that up again. That's Pastor Mark Driscoll. hate preacher, basically. The Christian movies continue to outperform at the box office while woke agenda big studio releases flounder. This is even
the exact
more
one that you used.
This is the exact one that I used, and it's even it aged like a fine milk, because it's even better now. Now, just for context, we're talking about the Barbie movie, of course, and so if you're wondering if the Barbie movie was woke, if you check out what Ben Shapiro's saying about it. He has like a 43-minute video that I have no intention of ever watching. But he says, my producers dragged me to see Barbie because heaven forbid he admit that he wasn't forced to do it. Like, even if it's his job to like review woke crap and he legitimately does not enjoy it, whatever, he still can't. He can't just like say, yeah, I went to watch the movie for my job. I went to watch the movie for my job. He has to be like, oh, they forced me into it. And it was one of the most woke movies I've ever seen. So Ben Shapiro, authority on what is woke and what is not, sometimes, says that it was one of the most woke movies he's ever seen. Well, let's see. Woke movies flounder at the box office. Barbie, when I took the screenshot, made $337 million worldwide at the box office.
Huh.
And
that's a good number.
Now, Sound and the Fury kept going up. Like, I think it was at like 80 million or something when we covered it last. When I got these screenshots, it was at 124 million. So it's doing decent numbers. And considering it's an independent film, and it is like a Christian movie, like Christian movies usually do make a huge return on investment, but they usually don't do this well at the box office. So like, for what it is doing very well. But to say that the woke things are floundering when Barbie made more than twice what Sound and the Fury, like in one weekend, actually, no, when did I get the screenshot? I think this was like on Saturday that I took the screenshot. So this is like a day and a half into Barbie's runtime, and it had already more than doubled what Sound of Freedom got in 3 weeks.
Two things here, though. So Barbie had a production budget of 145 million.
Yes.
So it's made more than double its production budget so far.
Well, these guys apparently had a production budget of like 19 million or something.
But Sound of Freedom has artificial numbers.
Yes.
Because Angel Studios has been actually giving away free tickets, and also right-wing pundits have been buying tickets in mass to give to people at free or discounted prices to inflate its numbers.
I've also I've seen people talk about how like they went to see The Sound of Freedom and they only had like 1 or 2 seats left in the entire theater, but then when they went in, it was just like maybe 7 or 8 people, and the rest of the theater was empty.
A sold-out theater of 5 people.
Because they were buying out the theater, and then nobody was going to see it. So yes, Sound of Freedom does have artificially inflated numbers. But like, even just ignoring that, you objectively cannot say that if the Barbie movie is woke, that woke movies flounder at the box office. You just can't.
Because they didn't.
Yeah.
As evidenced by them not floundering.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun, revisiting old tweets.
And finding out that they aged very, very, very well.
Yes.
As you do.
Dark Falcon says, because Barbie was never progressive. Yeah, no, it's not like there was astronaut Barbie long before women were allowed to be astronauts, or Dr. Barbie when it was incredibly uncommon to have female doctors. Barbie's always been kind of progressive in a weird way, because it's also like an issue with body objectification and unrealistic expectations. So like, it's like pairing unrealistic body images with kind of progressive, you can do what you want job wise sort of things. Oh, my bot just started running. Welcome to the chat, Stream Elements bot.
Is yours messing up too?
Apparently.
Mine hasn't been running the entire day. I can't get it to work today.
I don't know.
Busted.
I just assume that everybody ignores the bot anyways, because nobody except for Neuromptoput sends me tips.
I use I use mine for a bunch of chat commands. So
I'm on YouTube. They don't do chat commands.
Well, that's why I'm on Twitch. Actually,
I thought about it for chat commands,
Wait, no, you can do chat commands because you've got the Stream Elements bot.
No,
the Stream Elements bot will do chat commands for you, even on YouTube.
Okay, I'll have to look into that at some point.
Because when I'm
making me do more work.
God, I'm just trying to make you the best streamer you possibly can be, and also make you infinitely more upset at my existence.
I don't want to be the best that I can be. I just want easy money.
Well, then make the bot do the work for you.
But I have to work on making the bot do the work for me.
Yeah, but then you don't have to do the work again, ignoring the fact that I'm having to get my bot to work.
No, okay, so I...
Wingcaster says Suris is sounding like a stage mom.
I would also like to point out, I'm joking about this, about like easy money or whatever, but streaming is actual work. Like the reason I stopped game streaming was because it felt too much like turning something I enjoy into work.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't enjoy streaming, it's that like it's a job thing. So like, I don't know. Anyway, next tweet got Elon Musk. Well, Wolf says, what will be the new name for a tweet once Twitter changes its name to X? Elon Musk says, an X. This is so fucking stupid. Like, what the... Okay, have you seen the backstory of this?
No, I haven't. There's a backstory? We have lore?
Backstory for the X. So back before Elon bought PayPal, because like he'll say he founded PayPal, but no, he didn't found it. He bought it. He started a company called X, and it was supposed to be an online bank, and this was before you could do most of your banking online. This is like back in 1999. You wouldn't.
So he tried to do this back when nobody gave a shit about it.
Yeah, and I forget what PayPal's name was, like their parent company's name was. But like they both X and PayPal's parent company stumbled onto a convenient thing that people actually cared about around the same time, which was the ability to send an email to send money. And that was actually, PayPal was specifically its parent company's version of the email thing, and X did the same thing around the same time, and there was a whole bunch of internal shenanigans where like they tried to oust Elon from X to get him to, because he didn't want to focus just on that. He wanted to be this overarching financial thing, like a total bank system, but there were security flaws and problems and everything going, like so many things going wrong.
The same issues we're dealing with on Twitter right now?
Yes, exactly. History repeats itself, but he didn't want to focus on the email thing, so eventually there was some like shenanigans going on that he was essentially forced into merging with PayPal, and more shenanigans happened, and he still, like, he didn't want to focus on the email thing. He wanted to do the overarching, let's do everything financial thing, and there were more security problems that he kept secret from his board of directors. And they actually ousted him as CEO while he was on a plane flying to his honeymoon, because they didn't want him in the room. They wanted to do it over the phone, because in the room, I guess he's too charismatic or something, so he'd be able to like convince the people that he needed votes from to stick around or to keep him as CEO.
This is how you deal with abusive partners, by the way.
Yeah. So they ousted him, and he tried to rename PayPal as X, but the focus groups all were like, no, that's stupid. I wouldn't trust my financial information to a company called X, because that sounds like a sketchy porn site. And but he ignored all the focus groups, because they did a lot of focus groups trying to figure out how to brand X, and it didn't work for any of them. So he tried to rename PayPal to X, and it didn't work, and it culminated in him being forcibly outed as CEO. And so now the Twitter thing is just him trying to recapture that, and he's trying to make it the financial umbrella thing again, but that's never what Twitter was supposed to be. And
so this is literally he was scorned, and he's holding a temper tantrum.
Yes.
Cam of the Sea in my chat is just going, "You can't do this to me. Do you know how much I sacrificed?
And well, do you know? Have you heard all the other stuff with regards to the name change? All the other problems he's been having?
No.
No? You haven't heard?
Is...
Okay. So first off, he's owned X.com since like 2016. I guess he had it when he founded the company X back in the day. Like he bought it from some other company for like 1.6 million or something like that. But then he let it lapse and he just bought it back in like 2016 just to hold on to it because he likes X's. And so now he's using it. But like
this just feels like a TISM thing right now.
Okay.
This is the thing this is his special interest, and he's making us all deal with it.
Okay. So, but anyway, so he's got X.com, but I've heard conflicting reports. I'm pretty sure when the tweet that came with actual link to a patent, it was Microsoft, but like Microsoft holds the patent to using the letter X as a brand, or not the patent, the trademark. So Microsoft has the trademark. The logo is literally just an X in the monotype font, which is a $30 font. And apparently it was designed by a fan. Like it was just like fan art that someone did when he suggested X. And he was like, I like that. Can I use it? And I don't know if there's a financial thing there. He went to change Twitter's sign on their building from Twitter to X, but he didn't get the proper permits to do that. So the police stopped them before they got it done. So now his building sign just says
Because without the permit, he can't even put up the old pieces.
Yeah. So he, because he took down the @TWITT, and then the police stopped him. So it's just now.
Well, Renita in my chat's pointing out he's just Xehanort. He's just a member of Organization 13.
Savage Cobra says Elon, stop trying to make X happen. Is not going to happen. Yeah, no, I agree. It's not going to happen because it's still like everybody's making fun of it. I mean, like I saw a screenshot someone had of like 15 tabs open that all had an X logo, and they're like, only one of these is not porn. It's Twitter.
Gaish, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So I said this on Rhino's stream, but he's like a 90s studio trying to appeal to kids. Welcome to the XXX Extreme Dome.
Yes, exactly. But also he didn't secure the handle @X before going public with this. He has since just stolen the handle from the guy.
What?
So there was some guy that had the handle @X. And
he just took it?
He just took it. And like I don't know, like the guy's tweets were protected, so nobody could really see what they were, but like he was having fun with it. He kept on changing like his status information to like kind of poke fun at the fact that he had the X handle. And then when he had it changed, like forcibly changed on him, they changed it to like @X 1234567899900 something whatever. And yeah, so I feel like he should have gotten some compensation for that.
I don't know. How much does Elon think that anything on Twitter is worth? I mean, at one point it was to the tune of 44 billion.
According to experts, this change has caused it to drop in value, in market value, anywhere from $2 to $20 billion. Because he's taking an established brand. He's taking a brand whose name had become synonymous with a verb and throwing that in the bin. Is like,
yeah.
That is a huge amount of, like, if you are a company whose name has become a verb, that is huge. That's every company's dream. And he's just like throwing it, like nobody's going to say, I X'd this at someone. We're still all going to call it tweeting. Or if we stop calling it tweeting, it'll be posting. Nobody's going to call it Xing.
The real reason this is happening, it's all hubris. All of this is just hubris.
According to experts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it also leaves it open for puns like that. Like this it's going to be excruciating.
I want off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Yeah, so yeah, Elon's having fun with the X thing. Well, the internet's having fun with the X thing. Elon is pretending to have fun with the X thing while everybody points and laughs.
You know, the stereotype of just the nerd who doesn't understand what's going on around him and just tries to play along with everything because it's safer for him to do it. It's an old 90s thing that you would see in a lot of like straight to DVD or straight to VHS Disney movies.
Yeah.
Elon's unironically that person in real life, but no stereotypes. He's just a living, breathing version of that thing.
Yep. Yeah. Progress only needs to re-examine my life choices. Luigi Potter says I really don't know what he expected. I'm never so tired. It's never going to end, but like, I don't know.
Elon in my chat just goes, I just want to expire.
What's funny is there are still people that are like, oh, he's a business genius. I just don't understand this one. It must be 4D chess.
The
like,
people that believe that Elon's a business genius and not just a guy who had enough money from his family to make a shit ton of mistakes and if some of them paid off. Sorry, no, he's not a business genius. If you got
okay, he almost tanked PayPal. He got forced into allowing PayPal to succeed by his board of directors staging a coup to oust him. Like, the only reason PayPal worked is because he was not allowed to fuck it up.
But don't worry, he's definitely a business genius. I tend to hear two things when it comes to Elon is either people try to do the 4D chess thing, oh my god, he's actually super smart, or if he wasn't smart, why is he so successful? Or I'll hear, yeah, but Elon's not the bad one. We got all these other billionaires. They're the bad ones. Like, no, they're just all bad. Just accept that.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, what about Bill Gates? Because I heard it was in the news a while ago that he was going to actively give away enough of his wealth to get himself out of the billionaires club and like to philanthropy. So like, does he count as a good billionaire now?
Nope. Because
is he still a billionaire?
I mean, is he if he's still a billion? If he's not a billionaire,
did he do that thing where he like donated it all to his own foundations in order to get a huge tax break?
I mean, that's what he's been doing for the last 2 decades. I don't see why he would stop that now.
I mean, of the bad billionaires, I think Bill Gates is probably the least bad.
Maybe I don't know.
Okay, so I haven't really done extensive research into how all these billionaires behave, but like, after watching the Adam Conover video on why all the billionaires are actually bad, the only bad thing he could actually come and say about Bill Gates that he did say about Bill Gates was that he cheated on his wife, essentially. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like, it doesn't take a billionaire to cheat on a wife. Like, there are non-billionaires who do that too. Anyone can do that. That's not indicative of being a billionaire makes you a bad person. I'm not.
No, I think it comes down mostly to the ways that you have to extract that much wealth.
Yeah.
Like, that's if you start going down the, oh, you cheated on your wife, then now we're opening it up. Every single marital dispute, every single disagreement in a
everyone
relationship,
has skeletons in their closet. Some are worse than others, yes, but like, I'm sure that like it's fucking Bill Gates. Like, it doesn't happen so much anymore, but I remember a time when like, do you remember what was that movie? There was a movie about how like there was this evil tech company that was monopolizing everything and for nefarious purposes, and there was a scrappy band of hackers that stopped them or whatever. I forget what the movie was, but like, it was clearly supposed to be a metaphor for Microsoft. No, it wasn't War Games. It was a bad one. It was just like The Net or something. I don't know. It was not a very good movie, but yeah, it was. I don't know, but like back in the day, Bill Gates was just like kind of seen as the default like evil billionaire who is like trying to squish his competition out of business, and like The Simpsons was making jokes about it when Homer started his website and Bill Gates shows up. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna buy you out. Buy him out, boys! And they just smash all his shit.
Jesus Christ.
But like, so like he used to be the butt of these jokes, but like in recent years he's done some really good image cleaning up. But like, I feel like Adam Conover could have gone back to his monopolistic take over all the little guys and run them out of business
you know
stage
the
of Bill
ways
Gates'
he
life.
acquired his wealth. He could have done that, or do the easy default for any billionaire. What are his ties to Epstein? That's an easy slam dunk for a lot of them.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
Yeah,
that one doesn't take any effort.
What are his ties to Epstein? Why did everybody hang out with Epstein? Like, I'm not saying that everybody that hung out with Epstein was into the stuff that Epstein was doing, but like, we know that Epstein was doing the stuff, so some of them were.
So all I will say is this: I don't like putting on the tinfoil hat that often, but when I do, my most asked question is, why can't that black book be public knowledge? That's all I'm asking. That feels like one of those just let us read the book. Don't do anything about it. Just let us know. That's all.
It's the only true bipartisan thing in American politics, because Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are both in it.
It reminds me of those memes where somebody's like, if you press this button, Trump will go to jail for everything he's done. But Hillary, press.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click,
absolutely.
Click, 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 click.
Fuck them all. That's the thing that Republicans don't seem to understand, is like, oh, well, if they can come after Trump, they can come after your guy too. I'm like, good, let them come.
Good, do it.
Root out the fucking what's it called? Corruption. That's the word I was looking for and failing to find. Too much chocolate.
You're failing to find the way to drain the swamp properly.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this was just a meme that I saw. I forget what account I saw it on, but it was some right-wing hack account. So, global totalitarian state is the water being held back by the dam that is American gun owners, and they're saving humanity by owning guns and allowing school children to be shot up.
Or owning guns and not doing anything about legislation at all.
Yeah, you want to talk a totalitarian state? Let's talk Florida and how they're allowing religious propaganda to be taught as in their public schools, and how they're teaching that slavery was good, actually, and how they're trying to police what books you're allowed to read, and what things what relationships you're allowed to acknowledge their existence of. Which people you're allowed to acknowledge the existence of. That sounds pretty totalitarian to me. Where are the gun owners for that?
It takes me back to my Alex Jones days, where I got emails that said that merely by knowing the quote forbidden knowledge about the Illuminati and the billionaires that are trying to take over the world, they already have most of it anyway, that I was stopping them by merely knowing that was all I needed to do. This is just that same thing. You have a gun, therefore you are protecting humanity. Oh, cool. Yeah. I guess I'm protecting humanity right now because I have a .22 revolver. Neat. I didn't realize I was being so patriotic.
Sorry, I got excited because I got a beer delivery.
Oh.
And I just messaged her about that. I'm pretty sure she started getting the beer before I sent the message, so I have a good partner.
Beer delivery? My partner doesn't deliver me beers, mostly because I don't drink beer.
That's a good reason to not deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep on... Your Twix. She wants a Twix? I don't know if I have enough Twix for her. What do you think?
I think that looks like enough Twix for one person.
Yeah, exactly. I'm one person.
But that person is her.
Oh, fair point. Fair point. I concede.
Waynecaster says, "What? You don't drink the gay Bud Light?"
I actually thought about getting Molson Export for this this episode. But I think Molson Export might be one of the fake beers that's not real beer. And beer doesn't taste good enough to drink the non-alcoholic version. No, that's Excel. It's one of the two. I don't know. They're both shit. Beer doesn't taste good. What are you talking about?
I said root beer.
Oh, root beer.
Yeah.
It only tastes good if it's got vanilla ice cream floating in it.
No. It only tastes good if it's diet.
All right. Senator Marsha Blackburn says during President Trump's last year in office, there were 3 total terrorist encounters at the southern border. In fiscal year 23 to date, over 140 people on the U.S. terrorist screening list have been apprehended at ports of entry. This is a direct result of Biden's lax border policy. See, this takes us back to the whole contradiction thing and how they contradict themselves, and they might be aware of it, but they don't seem to be aware of it.
Wouldn't you expect that if we had tighter policies, then we would have more people apprehended at ports of entry?
Here's the thing. She says she didn't say Trump apprehended any terrorists. She said there were 3 encounters, which to me suggests that under Trump, we encountered 3 terrorists and said, okay, go about your business. Whereas Biden says, nope, we're going to apprehend those people and not allow them into the country freely. Like,
I mean, she's just a senator.
Does she not understand the meanings of the words that she is using?
So she doesn't have to understand the meanings of the words she's using. Are her constituents
really stupid enough to fall for this shit? Yes, they are. I know they are because she's elected. But
I didn't have enough time to cover the article where Marjorie Taylor Greene said that it was okay that she showed pictures of Hunter Biden's junk on the Congress floor because LGBTQ people exist.
So the version of that picture that I saw, he was censored for that. Apparently, when it was live, it was not censored. She just brought the uncensored picture into Congress. Yeah, that's
one of the reasons why his lawyers are currently trying to get at her.
Yeah, I wish them good luck because I feel like distributing pornographic pictures of someone without their consent, it should be a violation of a law or 2.
Yeah. No, she said that it's okay to show naked Hunter Biden pics because some schools have books about penguins that have 2 dads. Therefore, it's okay to show porn of somebody non-consensually on the Congress floor.
Okay, but that really is this fascinating view into her psyche where, like, she thinks that having a book where there's a penguin with 2 dads with nothing sexually explicit in it is just as bad as showing sexually explicit imagery of a guy with his dick out. Like,
she thinks being gay is porn.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's consistent with the definition of porn in America, though. You'll know it when you see it. She knows it when she sees it.
Progress Only says, should be illegal, but have you met American justice?
Thankfully, no.
That's actually the comment of the day of the video that I just recorded today was on a video where I think it was Matt Slick said something disgusting about atheists. And I was like, I'm not even willing to joke about calling Christians that, because that is too, like, it's borderline, but it's too close to, like, violating YouTube's hate speech policies. And given how subjective those things are enforced, I'm not willing to take that risk. And someone commented on that video with, there's no such thing as hate speech. Like, definitionally, there is such thing as hate speech, because, like, YouTube has a policy that says this kind of speech is what we consider hate speech. And if you say these things, you get a community guidelines strike. So it's like, you might not agree with that policy, but it objectively exists.
It's a thing that's there, and we make laws about it.
Yeah. And now, like, I think what they're going for is the whole, like, in the United States, hate speech is protected by the Constitution. That's been upheld by the Supreme Court. But, like, I live in Canada. We have provisions against hate speech on the federal level. Now, granted, on the federal level, it's more along the lines of if you're saying hate speech while doing another crime, the hate speech portion of it makes, like, it's an aggravator that makes that other crime worse.
It's a magnifier.
Yeah. But there are 3 provinces and 1 territory that actually have, like, more extensive hate speech thing where you can be charged based on just the speech that you make. Now, usually it's stuff that like it actually has to be like printed and distributed. It can't just be like, I said I hate gay people one time. It has to be like, I made a pamphlet saying that and handed it out to people. But yeah, no, but like hate speech is objectively a thing. Like you can disagree with the policies, but that doesn't mean that it's not a thing.
I mean, isn't that the exact same thing they try to argue when it comes to theism in general? You may disagree with what God does, but that doesn't make him not exist. And like, I both disagree with his existence and also some of the things he's claimed to have done and said.
Oh yeah, that's the whole, like, why would you get angry at God genociding people in the Old Testament if you don't believe that God exists? Like, well, because the people who do believe that he exists and did that and that that was a good thing are in charge of making laws. And that's scary.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm having to make a video about brave police officers protecting a vulnerable $5 pizza.
John says if we can't get her on the pornography thing, then we still have the space laser as a backup. Oh, she's such an idiot. She's such a fucking idiot. Suris, run for office. Just pretend to be as dumb and belligerent as Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then switch to a Democrat after you're elected, like Cinema and Manchin are probably going to do to Republicans at some point.
I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. The last people that ran against Marjorie on both the Democratic and the Republican side ran under the guise of, at least I'm not crazy as that bitch.
Yeah, so run under the guise of...
And they all lost!
So run under the guise of I'm crazier than that bitch and I'm smart too.
I can't pretend to be smart right now. That's going a little too
you're
far
smarter
up
than her.
pedigree.
You're smarter than her.
That's not a high bar to clear!
Exactly, that's my point. You could pull it off. Do it, Suris. Run for office. Run against her on her own ticket as a Republican. Someone's gonna dig up this tape and use it in a campaign ad against you, but it doesn't matter because you can just do the Republican thing and be like, no, that never happened. That wasn't me. Though you see that doesn't look like me. That's some Catboy thing.
It sounds like, do you know how many people sound like me? There's one of them right here on this channel right now.
Oh, do it, Senator Suris.
I'll think about it. And she's a House of Representatives person.
Yes, I know. I fucking know, but Senator Suris has a better ring to it.
It does, but I can if I was a representative for the House, I could get on the floor and go, "Not in my house."
All right, so President Biden is announcing something to improve mental health care in schools. And Moms for Liberty says, mental health care is health care, Mr. President. That's why it has no place in public schools. They doubled down on that. When they were asked about that, they doubled down on that.
Healthcare has no place in public schools?
Yep.
I don't want doctors either. Get them out of my sight.
Yeah,
they have no place in here. Not in my house.
This is just like what stage do you have to be in to be like legitimately arguing against providing health care to children? And like even just ignore the mental health aspect of like, because they agree that mental health care is health care. I agree that mental health care is health care, but there are people who disagree with that. So let's set that aside from them. Just say health care. They doubled down on that. Someone asked them about that in the replies, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we agree. We believe that health care does not belong in public schools." So they doubled down on that. They say we should not be providing health care to children. Can you, what stage do you have to be in to think that that's a good position to argue for? I am against giving health care to children.
Right now, I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm tired of human beings. I think people are kind of garbage right now.
You don't have to convince me. I've been a bit of a misanthrope for a good chunk of my life.
Yeah. Astaroth in my chat goes, why ban schools from providing healthcare to students in schools? Because when you get to the point where everybody already sees you as a mustache twirling villain, you might as well twirl the mustache. You're already at that point.
Yep. Savage Cobra says, how pro-life of them.
These are the types of people that want nothing but private schools to exist. They don't want public schools to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, no. Well,
I think that's what this is.
Well, Moms for Liberty, they're probably libertarian with a name like that. And I used to be a libertarian back in the day, and so I would argue in favor of private schools, and like if all the schools were private, then competition would drive the prices down so it'd be affordable for even poor people who'd be able to afford it based on not having paid the taxes for funding the public school or some shit like that doesn't actually work in practice.
Yeah, on paper, monopolies never exist.
Yeah.
On paper, everything always trajects towards egalitarianism. And then in reality, it never does.
No. All right, I think.
Oh, what is this one?
This is DeSantis. Okay, this is a two-parter, so let's crop that off for a second so we can read the first part.
I need it bigger. There we go.
Yeah. So, Governor Ron DeSantis, if we don't get our act together, 25 years from now, school children in this country are going to be forced to learn 37 different pronouns in Mandarin, and we cannot let that happen. It's like, first off, who fucking cares if they're learning the pronouns that are in a different language?
I thought knowledge for knowledge's sake was supposed to be a good thing. Learning things is good.
It is. I agree with that statement. Ron DeSantis apparently does not. He wants people to learn that slavery was good, actually. But this gets better because of the response. Carl Za, who speaks Mandarin, says there's only one pronoun in Mandarin, ta, because traditionally Chinese language didn't have gender. In the early 20th century, Chinese feminists introduced the character, not sure, still pronounced ta, for her influence by the English language. Many Chinese native speakers, including myself, still confuse he with she when speaking English. In conclusion, American politicians are ignorant and dumb. Are they accurate representations of the USA? People can draw their own conclusions.
They are accurate representations of the legislature, 100%.
Yeah. So
the legislature is an accurate representation of the legislature.
Yeah. So DeSantis is just afraid of anything Chinese sounding because xenophobia, racism, that sort of thing. You can say 37 different pronouns in Mandarin. Who cares? Like, even if there was 37 different pronouns in Mandarin, who fucking cares? If you learn another language, what's wrong with that? But, like, on top of that, he's just wrong because there's only one pronoun. Like, English is one of the languages with more pronouns than a lot of the other languages. Like, yeah, the Romance languages have the, like, objects being masculine or feminine. But, like, there are a lot of languages where you just don't use gendered pronouns. And
yet, he is afraid of all of them because they're scary and different.
Xenophobia. Wait, I think that was... Oh, no, that wasn't the last one.
Pray the Rosary.
Pray the Rosary.
No.
This is a fun one, though. It says, kneeling and on the tongue is the only proper way to receive our blessed Lord in the most holy Eucharist. I agree, pray the Rosary. Get on your knees, stick out your tongue, and receive the Lord.
Now we're about to see who's the most holy. Why?
They have to know how sexual their rituals sound,
right?
Yeah. There's no way they can't know how they can't not know how sexual their stuff sounds. Like, Lord Jesus, come inside me. Like, how can they not know?
Well, you see, I don't have a good answer for you, actually. I wanted to have a
when I was a Christian,
nothing.
And I giggled at it. And then I sat there awkwardly wondering why they continue to use this language when everybody knows.
Jesus is going to give you a cummy ache. You don't want a cummy ache, Rhino?
Oh, I don't want a cummy ache.
Drink from the overflowing cup of the Lord. It is bursting and pent out.
You'll be cleansed from your sins if only you allow him to come inside you.
Look, Jesus has been, he's the king of edging. His second coming has been ongoing for 2,000 years.
Yep.
But what can I say? The dude was nailed by a bunch of Romans, and it's what he's famous for.
So this is one of my favorite bits about the gospel. Now, I'm fairly certain that the authors of the gospel did not intend it this way, but sometimes in the Bible, feet are a euphemism for the penis.
Oh, when she washed his feet?
Not just when she washed his feet, but when all the disciples came in and Jesus washed all of their feet. So, like, at the Last Supper, he gave all his best friends a hand job.
Judas, I know you're about to betray me, but let me cleanse your soul
The
one
Last Supper
time.
the Last Supper was a gay orgy, is what I'm getting at. Now, I know that's not what the authors probably intended, but that is a potential interpretation. Have you seen that meme that's like, this is my body, or he takes out the bread and breaks it and says, this is my body that I've broken for you, takes out the wine and pours it, this is my blood shed for you, and then he takes out the mayonnaise, and then the other guys are like, nope, I'm done, nope.
We don't need to know what that one is, Lord. This is my seed I've bestowed onto you so that you may be impregnated with the word of the Lord.
Oh, it's only a mustard seed. It's the smallest of all the seeds.
I don't have to know anything about his seed count.
Just ignore the fact that the black orchid existed at the time and had smaller seeds.
Look.
Oh, Lesson Lucid says, respect the D,
yet.
Vice Rhino. So this is a reference to my stream that I do with my partner on my main channel. If you go to merch.vicerhino.com, you can see some of the Bible verses that we've translated together that are more fun than the actual translations. And if you use code Rhino15, you get 15% off until the end of July. So,
jeez. Judas, I know you're going to betray me, but I need to hit it one more time.
Yep.
Ninja says, "Cum is an objectively smaller seed, and they called it a seed." So,
yeah, that's true, and the Bible does refer to cum as a seed.
Better your seed spill on the floor than in the belly of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So my favorite Bible verse that we're selling right now is Ecclesiastes 4:3 of the new Vice Rhino version. This world is shit. Have that abortion. And you can get it with a picture of an angry uterus. You can get that on a shirt, a sweater, or a sticker.
Have you guys already started translating some of the stories about King Solomon?
No, this is just like as we're reading through a Christian marriage book, when she quotes the Bible, we'll like give it an alternate spin.
Oh, I was gonna say, I wanted to hear your spin on cut that fucking baby in half.
I'm surprised. So my partner's the one that does these sticker designs, and she has not yet gotten to the one in Genesis that was, and then Eve did snowball Adam's cum back into his own mouth. I forget how we got to that one, but that's my favorite that we've done so far. But that's not actually available to buy yet because she's slacking.
Go ahead, Adam. Eat of the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was like the snake was the temptation, the fruit was the cum, and Eve shared the fruit with Adam after she ate it.
Well,
so you figured it out. You figured it out, which means that we were not completely off base in interpreting it that way.
Adam was, in fact, bisexual the entire time. Actually, no. Yeah. Adam was Adam was omnisexual.
Adam was omnigender. And this is actually Jewish tradition, is that when the Bible says that male and female, God created them, that was just Adam. He created Adam, male and female, because it's not till later in the story that he splits Eve out of Adam's side, which they don't use the word for rib, they use the word side. So that's like he cut Adam in half and took half, like the female half became Eve. So originally Adam was both male and female.
Wait, so God canonically literally said, bro, go fuck yourself.
Yes. Heidi, get on that one. Bro, go fuck yourself. Genesis 3, that'll be Genesis 3 something.
God just sat there. I provided you all of this beastasy.
No, that'll be 2 when he split them up.
None of it.
That'll be Genesis 2. Okay, I got to find it now. Genesis 2.
God did a Solomon before it was cool.
Yep. Genesis 2:21. Adam, go fuck yourself.
At least we know Adam wasn't a furry, wasn't he? He thought about it.
Yeah, no, they tried. God wanted him to be a furry. He's like, hey, do you want to fuck any of these animals? No? Okay, go fuck yourself. I worked hard on these things, and you didn't want a single one of them, so you can just go fuck yourself. And Adam was like, fuck yeah.
God's just sitting there like, I even made this one with a vagina that's a maze, and you named it a duck. You named it a duck.
It's only one letter off from what I wanted you to do to it.
Maybe God should have made a Vaporeon.
That's a good question though, because God, like, okay, creationists believe that this story is literal. So Adam literally named all the animals in 24 hours. He named all the, now not the sea animals, just the land animals and the birds. So God named all, or no, Adam named all these animals on the 6th day. So within 24 hours, literal 24 hours, he named. Now I did the math on this one. If you go with the answers in Genesis number for how many kinds were represented on the ark, which is approximately the same number that he would have had to name, it works out to he had to name one animal every minute for an entire 24-hour period. Do they really believe that he just sat there for 24 hours naming animal after animal?
Yes.
Not having any time to think. And like, what was the point in that? Because like he named them in ancient Hebrew, presumably. We don't actually know what language it would have been in. So it's either ancient Hebrew, which is a dead language, or it was a proto language that is also a dead language. So like, what was the point in him naming them? We don't even have those names anymore.
Look,
like we had to name them all over again.
Much like with bringing the gospel to only one small section of the Middle East and hoping beyond all hope that it would make it everywhere else with no issues in translation going forward. He's not a very forward thinker, right now. Noah, your family, they are blessed. They can all live. I'm killing everyone else. Okay, cool. So are we repopulating the earth? Are we doing an Adam and Eve? Yes. Isn't that going to result in genetic bottleneck? It didn't the first time.
So Heidi's in the chat saying, because the bird is the word.
No, X is the word.
X is the word. Yes, that's true. Yes. It's not the bird anymore. It's the X. Because XXX is the word.
It was the bird when she was dating you, but now it's the X.
Aw. Now I'm sad. Unless it's 3 X's. I can do 3 X's, but not one. 1 X makes me sad.
I remember when I was a kid watching old Looney Tunes, and when they would have like alcohol, it would either say XXX or corn juice.
Yes.
And I would always ask my parents, what does XXX mean? And they just give me a look like, you're not supposed to know.
Anyway. Next we get this. So this tweet no longer exists because I reported it for calling for violence, and it like they actually their account was suspended until they deleted the tweet. Their account's no longer suspended, so I assume they deleted the tweet. This was in response to my saying genocide is bad. This person says Christianity is true, and the genocide of godless scum is morally permissible. So there's no hate like Christian love.
Yeah, that's one of those universal constants that is always shown to be true.
Mm-hmm. And this is the kind of person you can expect to find anytime you see anyone with trad or traditional or anything in their screen name or handle.
They're so traditional, they come from a different set of moral principles that we civilized people long since abandoned.
Yep. Betcha he'll argue in favor of slavery as well.
Mm-hmm. It was just a workshop. They learned how to make boats.
Yeah.
They learned how to plant crops. I mean, I don't see the problem, right?
Okay, and that is the last tweet.
We're back where we are.
That is the last tweet. I was actually a little bit worried that we were going to finish early tonight, but we went on enough tangents that we filled up the time. We always manage to fill up the time.
We didn't finish early.
We
made sure to fill up.
No matter how small it starts, it always expands to fill the space.
God damn it. Don't read the Bible before bed. You'll get a cummy itch.
All right. Thank you for joining me. I still have electricity. Yay.
And the feed fixed itself over time, too.
Yeah. I'm still under a severe thunderstorm watch, but I'm no longer actually hearing thunder, so I feel like the worst is past. So
fair.
Thanks for joining me. As always, fuck off. It's biblical this time. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.